Hello, Winslow families. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I know how busy life can be, so I really appreciate everyone taking the time to think about this and consider what it means for their students. Tonight, I want to walk you through everything you need to know about IREAD. This is all about one thing, making sure your child becomes a confident, strong reader. And the good news is we're going to do this together. This guide has key dates, scoring details, and real tools you can use at home to support your child's reading growth. So let's start with the basics. What exactly is IREAD? IREAD stands for Indiana Reading Evaluation and Determination. It's the state's assessment that measures your child's foundational reading skills. Specifically, it tests whether students can read and understand text at their grade level. This assessment was developed because Public Law 109, which was passed by the General Assembly back in 2010, the proposal of this law is straightforward. It requires that we evaluate the reading skills of our students to make sure they're reading at grade level before they move on to fourth grade. The bottom line, the state wants to ensure that every child can read before fourth grade. And honestly, so do we. Now you might be wondering, why is a second grader taking this test? And why are we talking about it to kindergarten and first grade parents? Great question. Think of the second grade IREAD as an early warning system. State legislation now requires all second graders to take IREAD, and here's why. It's actually a good thing. When students take the assessment in second grade, it gives us early information. If your child's on track, that's wonderful. It builds their confidence and ours. But if your student needs a little extra support, we find out sooner rather than later. That means we can jump in right away with targeted help instead of waiting until third grade. Early reading support leads to higher reading success down the road, and it actually means less testing in the future. So this is really about getting ahead of any challenges before they become bigger problems. Let me break down who takes the IREAD assessment this year. All of our second grade students will participate, every single one. This is their first time taking the assessment. Third grade students will also take the test if they did not pass in second grade, if they were retained in third grade, or if they didn't test previously. Fourth graders take it if they received what's called a good cause exemption in third grade, or if they didn't test in third grade. I'll explain the good cause exemption in just a few minutes. Fifth graders may also participate under certain conditions from previous legislation, and any new students in grades 4 through 6 who are new to Indiana or who were previously homeschooled will also take the assessment. Here are the dates you'll want to mark on your calendar. The spring testing window runs from March 2nd through March 13th. This is the primary testing window for all eligible students. Then there's a summer testing window from May 11th through June 26th. This is for students who may need a retest opportunity. Here's what's important to know about the summer window. Second graders may participate in one of the summer retest opportunities. We recommend this for students who are close and may have the opportunity to pass, and we test them before the school year's out. And for students who are behind, we provide that additional instruction during summer school as an opportunity to springboard them towards third grade, and it gives them another chance as well to take the test. So if they pass, then they're done. Please make sure your child is at school during the March testing window. Attendance really matters here. When your second graders' results come back, you'll see one of three categories. Let me walk you through each one. First, there's pass, which is a score between 446 and 650. This means your child has achieved proficiency and has fulfilled the testing requirement. No summer school is required. That's great news. Next is on track, with a score between 405 and 445. Child's close, but we want to keep an eye on their progress. Students in this range may be offered summer school, and they do have one summer retest available. Finally, there's at risk, which is a score between 200 and 404. If your child falls in this range, they'll be flagged for early support and remediation to help them reach proficiency by the end of third grade. Students in this category must be offered summer school. They also have one summer retest opportunity. I want to be clear about something. Second grade score is an early indicator, not a final determination. It tells us where your child is right now so we can provide the right support going forward. Now, the third grade results carry more weight, so let me explain those carefully. A score of 446 to 650 is still pass. Your child has demonstrated proficiency, understanding, and has fulfilled the testing requirement. That's the goal we're all working towards. A score of 200 to 445 is simply did not pass. That means the student demonstrated limited understandings. Students who receive this score are required to be offered summer school, and they have 2 summer retest opportunities available. Here's the important part. If a third grader does not pass either the spring or summer administrations, Indiana law requires that the student be retained in third grade unless they qualify for a good cause exemption. Retesting continues each year until the student passes or reaches grade 7. I know it sounds serious, and it is, but that's exactly why we're having this conversation now. We want to work with you early so we can give your child every opportunity to succeed. Let's talk about summer support, because this is an important safety net. Summer school is offered to second grade students who score at risk and to third grade students who scored did not pass. Even students with a good cause exemption will be offered summer school for additional intervention. There's also something called the 90% rule that I want you to know about. If a student attends less than 90% of the summer school reading program, then they're also required to participate in an individual reading plan aligned with the science of reading during the following school year. We have a reading plan for these students, but this is a more specific and based on the law, so it's more intensive if they aren't able to attend. So if your child's offered summer school, please make attendance a priority. It really does make a difference. Now let me explain the good cause exemptions, or GCEs. A good cause exemption can prevent a student from being retained, but does not exempt them from taking the test. Student still needs to take IREAD. There are 5 situations where the GCE may apply. Number 1, student has been retained in third grade for 1 school year already. Number 2, student has an intellectual disability or their IEP specifically states that retention is not appropriate. Number 3, student is an English learner with fewer than 2 years of services, and this requires committee approval. Number 4, the student received at proficiency or above proficiency on the grade 3 iLearn Mathematics assessment. And number 5, student received intensive reading intervention for 2 or more years and was retained more than once in kindergarten through second grade. If your child might qualify for a good cause exemption, please reach out to us. We're happy to walk you through the details. When scores are available, you'll be able to access them through the family portal. We'll provide you with an access code to log in, and we mail home the paper copies as well. Individual scores typically load within 24 hours after your child completes the test. However, the official final results have specific dates. Spring results will be finalized Monday, April 17th, 2026, and summer results Monday, July 17th, 2026. Keep an eye out for communication from our school about your access code, and if you have any trouble, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Now, for my favorite part, what can you do at home to help your child get ready? One of the best things you can do is to read with your child. Read fiction, nonfiction books together, then ask questions to deepen their understanding. Here are some great questions to ask while you're reading together. What was the story about? Can you give me some details? Who were the characters, and can you describe them? Can you explain the events in the order that they happen? Was there a problem in the story? And what was the solution? And here's a fun one. What do you think will happen next, and why? These conversations build comprehension skills in a natural, enjoyable way. You don't need fancy materials, just a book and some questions. You can also practice phonics and sounds with your child, and this can actually be a lot of fun. Try identifying sounds and words together. For example, ask your child, what's the ending sound in the word dog? What's the beginning sound in kite? What is the middle sound in cat? You can explore vowel sounds. Talk about how cap has a short vowel sound. When you add an E, you can make cape. The vowel becomes long. Or point out vowel teams, like how the letters E and A in east work together to make a long E sound. And context clues are huge. When your child comes across a word they don't know, encourage them to look at the words around it to try and figure out the meaning. For example, if a sentence says, butterfly wings seem to glide through the air, ask them, what do you think glide means based on the sentence? These are skills they'll use in the IREAD test, but more importantly, these are skills they'll use for the rest of their lives. Another way you can practice at home is word relationships. This is a great one to turn into a game. Start with synonyms and antonyms. Synonyms are words that mean the same thing, like happy and joyful. Antonyms are opposites, like happy and sad. You can play this in the car. Just give your child a word and see if they can come up with a synonym or antonym. Then there are homographs, words that are spelled the same but have different meanings or sounds, like the word bow. A bow can be a ribbon, or it can be an action of bowing on stage, or tear. A tear from crying versus tearing a piece of paper. Finally, homophones, words that sound the same but are spelled differently and have different meanings, like the number 8 and the word 8, or can as in a can of soup, versus can in the ability to do something. Playing with words like this builds vocabulary and makes your child a stronger reader. I also want to share 2 digital resources that are completely free for your family to use. First is the Hub, Indiana's Learning Lab. You can find it at indianalearninglab.com. It has a literacy center full of reading practice activities. The second is the released item repository from the Indiana Department of Education. And I'll send these websites out to all parents so that you have it all in one place. I encourage you to explore both of these with your child. A few minutes of practice each week can really make a difference. Before I wrap up, I want you to know something important. We are partners in your child's success. Every teacher, every staff member here at Winslow Elementary is working hard every day to help your child become a confident reader. But we can't do it alone. Your support at home, reading together, asking questions, playing word games, keeping up with attendance, all of this matters and makes a huge difference. If you do ever have any questions about IREAD or about your child's reading progress, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Thank you so much for your partnership. Together, we're going to make sure every student at Winslow becomes a confident reader. We'll see you soon.